So jumping into this new album, then, what was the starting point? Because obviously, I think this is number 9, if I'm not mistaken. So you have 8 albums and a load of other songs written over the years. Where do you start them? Do you have a sense of where you want to go early on?
We did talk about what we wanted the record to sound like. Madness was the least heavy record we'd ever done, and we like to throw curveballs. We like to keep people kind of guessing as to what we're going to do, for good or bad. And we sat down and had a conversation, and we were like, we haven't done a really heavy record probably since, in my opinion, the last really heavy record we had done was probably 2010s for We Are Many. So it had been a while since we really kind of focused on writing heavy stuff. And so we said, let's put out a record that's, mostly heavy, just a heavy record. And that was why we had gone to work with Dan Laskowitz, who used to be in the Acacia Strain. He produced the record. We called him up, and we were like, look, we like the sound that you've gotten with the bands that you've worked with. You're very familiar with heavy music. You know the stuff. So let's get together and do some demos. So we did like 5 demos. And then once we finished the demos, we were like, this is really going well. And we liked the way they were turning out, and we liked the way that it felt. So we decided, well, let's just finish the record right now. The demos are good. Let's just go ahead and write a few more songs, or whatever, 5, 6 more songs, and then we'll be done with it. And the label was okay with it. They said, yeah, go ahead. They liked the demos, and so we were like, all right, cool. And we just hammered down and finished it up. But it was something that we intended to do.
That's an interesting point you make, because I suppose then if you say Madness was somewhat of a slower record.
Yeah, it wasn't as heavy as our other stuff. Yeah.
When you get into the new songs and knowing that you want it to be heavy, how does that? Is the live show always in the back of your mind then? Because, like you say, your main focus is being a live performer. So is that in the back of your mind when you write these songs? Oh, this will be a nice riff, or I want to get this type of energy going.
I don't know that's really comes into my personal head. It could be that way for other guys in the band. I'm a song guy. So for me, the most important thing is the song good? And there are certain things that I look for in a song for me to be like, yeah, that I dig or don't dig. And a hook is one of them, and whether it be a cool vocal melody or some kind of cool thing in the riff or whatever, there has to be something special in the song for me to really kind of gravitate to it. So I am a song guy first, and I want the songs to be good songs, because I've said this before, for the most part, if you write a good song, the genre doesn't matter, which is why you see so many R&B and country music artists recording the same song, because the genre really is just, so look at it like a cook, right? If you've got a really good cut of meat, it doesn't matter what type, like how you prepare it, it's a good cut of meat. And that to me is what a song is. Right. If it's a country song or an R&B song or sometimes, or a lot of times even rock songs, they're very interchangeable. That's why you see so many rock artists covering songs that were country songs or whatever. We've done that. And the important part first is that it's a good song. Whether the guitars have distortion or whether there's a guitar solo, that's just that's like garnish or like spices. Right. It's a good song first, and the other stuff is cool and might add to it. But if you've got a really good song in the first place, then you 90% of your work is done.
Well, it makes a lot of sense, because the song that sprung into my mind is Chris Stapleton's Tennessee Whiskey, which is pretty much the song that came into my mind was Chris Stapleton's Tennessee Whiskey, which is pretty much a soul or R&B song, but then in a country kind of jacket. Makes sense. In that sense, and this is somewhat of an unfair question, but is there one song on the album we can pick out that you felt that you kind of nailed? Where you kind of felt, okay, this is...
I don't know that I can pick one song. Like I said earlier, that there's usually a hook or something that attracts me to a song, and so there tends to be parts that I think are special. So in for instance, Blood I Spill on the new record, going from the first chorus back into the verse, I was really, really happy with that transition and the verse and the layered vocals and everything just came together really, really cool. So that part to me is really special. In Alone in the Darkness, the very beginning of it, when the vocals come in, the main melodies kind of stays the same, but the harmony does this descending thing, and that's a really cool kind of special part for me. So for me, it tends to be more about little things like that make something interesting and cool to me. I find it difficult to pick favorite songs, but I can pick parts that are special really easily.
Well, like I said, it's a little bit of an unfair question because obviously you like them all.
Sure.
Well, let me pick a couple, one or two then,
Sure.
because I wrote some lyrics down here and there. The one Misery in Me is one that lyrically stuck out to me, and I wrote down, I believe in the misery in me, and it cost me all of my dreams. Is this something personal, or is this?
Yeah, okay. I mean, they usually are. You know, you can get wrapped up in negative things in your life pretty easily. And a lot of times if you let things that are negative kind of be the focus or what you focus on, it can have a really heavy toll in your life. So, you know, the message of the song is to try to avoid getting wrapped up in bad things that are going on in your life, because everybody has bad things going on in their life. And if you focus on negative things, that tends to be the only thing that you see. And some people have really horrible problems that they're dealing with, and terrible tragedies, and just, you know, absolute catastrophes. And those are going to happen to everybody. I mean, no matter whether you're rich, poor, whatever, we're all going to die. So there's a lot of commonality, or there's far more commonality between people than there are differences. Everyone experiences loss. Everyone experiences pain. Everyone experiences struggle. And I'm not 100% sure that it's fair to say that this person's struggle is more difficult or less difficult than another person's. There are definitely circumstances that make things harder. And there are people that have had struggle after struggle heaped on top of them. But everyone can relate to, you know, negative things and struggle and stuff. So I think the best remedy to that is to have some kind of meaning or purpose in your life, something that you're trying to achieve. And that's the best way to deal with the tragedy that happens to everyone.
Having said that then, because obviously the band has had to deal with a huge tragedy in the last couple of months. Yeah. So where have you found your purpose in terms of dealing with that?
I don't know that I'm in a place where I can actually answer that yet. It's still new. There's still a lot of stuff to deal with and process with all these passings. So I don't think I can answer that.
Fair enough. Final question then. Well, the album is titled "Victims of the New Disease," and I wrote one line down. Please start thinking for yourself.
Yeah.
Why is that so important?
Because an individual is more important than any group that you belong to. Whether you're man, woman, whatever race, whatever religion, at the end of the day, you're an individual. And the smallest minority is the individual. So you have to think for yourself, and you have to think as an individual. You can't think for a group, because a group is just a bunch of individuals. So, and I'm very, very adamant about the idea that generally people are good. I think that if people weren't generally good, we wouldn't have society at all. And if you think for yourself and make good decisions for yourself and for the people closest to you, that tends to do better for your family, and then your community, and then maybe your city, and then your country, and then the rest of the world. But it radiates out from the individual. When you get groups of people trying to strongly influence, then you get a lot of really bad things have happened in the 20th century specifically.
Sure.
That were because of groupthink, and it's a scary proposition. And there's a lot of things that you can see kind of coming back, kind of sticking their head up again.
Right.
And I think that people need to focus on the fact that we're all individuals, and whether it be your country or the region that you're from or your religion, you're an individual first. And if you focus on the fact that you're an individual and we're all individuals, I think that society tends to have better results.
Phil, thank you very much for your time. Thank you.